Recovery doesn't start tomorrow.
Calling all angels.
Recovery starts right now. And here to help is Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all you angels. Calling all angels. Calling all you angels.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. On YouTube, just simply go to Rated R for Recovery. This show is done live, streamed every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That doesn't mean you can't watch the show the next week or the next day or even the next year. We archive the shows on our YouTube channel, and you can go back and watch as many episodes as you like.
Forever.
So,
They are there forever.
yes, we will forever be ever in something in your heart. Anyway, I'm an addict. My name's John.
Hey, John.
Welcome to the show. My co-host.
I'm an alcoholic. My name's Joy. Welcome to the show. That's my line.
That's yes.
Right.
And we'd like to start out by saying hi to Jim in Canada, who listens every week. Jim is active in the show. We just put out there that you can be part of the show by texting 239-980-8080 with your questions, concerns, or comments. And also, we have, thank you.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow, what is it? Anyway, so Joy,
Yes.
would you tell our audience here and at home what Rated R for Recovery is?
Rated R for Recovery is a recovery-based, faith-driven program bringing hope, healing, and restoration to individuals and families impacted by addiction. Through interviews, sharing information, and entertainment, we strive to be a catalyst for change for all who wish to recover.
Very good, Joy. So we have a couple of announcements. Joy, you want to go first?
I would love to. The last Thursday of every month, they have coffee and canteen right here at Kimmies Recovery Zone. It's in person from 8 to 10 a.m., or you can Zoom in. Start your morning with hot coffee and good company. Enjoy uplifting fellowship with fellow veterans, followed by grocery shopping for all veterans in need. Come early, stay connected, and leave with essentials. That's one of my favorites. And Raab, W-R-A-P, Wellness Recovery Action Plan. For those in grief, it's a safe and caring space to share, heal, and find hope. They use a gentle guidance of this Wellness Recovery Action Plan and explore practical tools to support healing, build resilience, and nurture hope. Every Wednesday from 3 to 4, right here.
Right here at Kimmies Recovery Zone, located at 507 Center Road in Fort Myers, Florida. One of the biggest outreach events of the year is put on by Kimmies Recovery Zone. It's called Party in the Park. It is September 12th of this year. It'll be at Lake Kennedy Park in Cape Coral. The festivities start at 11 o'clock in the morning and go to about 2:30 in the afternoon. With a keynote speaker this year, Florida State Senator Rosalynn Osgood will be sharing it. Exactly, very good. Now, so you might say to yourself, well, how can I help Kimmies Recovery Zone? Because I know that's what you're saying at home right now. And recovery is made possible through donations from people like us and people like you. And all I need you to do, or if you want to do, is go to kimmiesrecoveryzone.org and click on donation, and you'll be able to donate different amounts of money that you want to donate. And remember, the sad statistic, and tell me if you agree with this at home or in the audience, is that everybody has somebody in their life that's been affected by drugs or alcohol. So, which makes the demographic of this show everyone, Joy.
Everybody.
Everybody, because everybody has a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, or just knows somebody that's been affected by drugs or alcohol. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't discriminate for age, race, color, creed, sexual orientation, anything. It's a sad case. It is a sad case. Also, one other announcement. There's a country and western fundraiser for Aruka, and that is Saturday, September 26th in La Belle. It's a country festival with country music and comedy antics and the like. So that
And-
is September 26th in LaBelle, Florida.
And as opposed to a fundraiser, this is a
yeah.
fun FUN
FUN Razor.
razor.
We'd also like to thank the Salvation Army, because each week the Salvation Army uses Rated R for Recovery as part of their
Guys.
curriculum. So hello, Salvation Army, and thanks again for listening. Very good, very good. All right, so that's that. Now let's move to our first segment of the show, which is a gentleman that I've known for many years. And let's welcome Raab to the show. Do you remember how we met?
Oh, yes, I do.
Would you want to tell the audience here and at home how we met?
Well, let's start with this. Hi, family. I'm Rob. I'm an addict.
Hey, Rob.
And I met John in Lee County's finest gated community.
Oh.
Yes, one that you could go in, but you really couldn't go out unless they wanted you to. And you had hair down to your back, your middle of your back. I thought you were a Samoan or something at the time.
Yeah.
And but we got along. We got along.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think it was probably my first taste of recovery, because there was a gentleman we would both talk about named Gary.
Oh.
And at that time, you were connected with Gary in a certain way.
Yeah,
I
Gary
believe.
was my sponsor.
Okay. And but it wasn't always like that. I mean, we weren't always in jail, and we weren't always clean. So how did this start?
Well, for me, my recovery journey started back in 1990. That was my first treatment center at the age of 16.
Really?
Yes.
Now, what prompted you at the age of 16 to ask for help, or did you get forced to get help?
Strongly encouraged.
Correct. I had back problems. I had to get my mom off my back, my dad off my back, and I had to get the law off my back. I caught my first felony drug charge at the age of 16, and my parents hired an attorney, and I got adjudication withheld. And one of the things I was asked to do was go to meetings to get this paper signed after I got out of treatment.
And did you?
That's what I did.
Okay. And where did it go from there?
I was on 18 months probation, and I stayed clean for 18 months and 3 days. Like I said, I went to my first treatment center at 16. I was a junior in high school, and I got my first introduction to recovery. I went to Narcotics Anonymous. That's where I felt most comfortable. I'm still a member of Narcotics Anonymous that actively goes to meetings and has a sponsor and sponsors other men. But, you know, there wasn't a lot of change. There was a lot of fellowship. Like I said, I was 16, and I looked at the steps on the wall, and I worked the steps off the wall, and as a result, I had off-the-wall recovery.
Very, very good. I like that one. Now, let's go back to being 16 and getting a drug charge. Were you selling some weed in school?
That's exactly what I was doing.
What did mom and dad have to say about that?
Oh, they were super proud. You know, unfortunately, that wasn't the first, and it was actually the first of many. And, you know, because just like our use progresses, character defects progress as well, I've learned in recovery. And back then, you know, it was just about supporting my habit. And I learned as a young teenager, if I buy an ounce and sell 3/4, I get my quarter for free. And it really just escalated from there into quarter pounds and pounds and so on and so forth.
At 16.
At
You were
16.
moving heavy weights of weed.
That's a perception.
He was a
thing.
go-getter.
I wouldn't call that
All
heavyweight.
right, well, what pounds and pounds and pounds when you're 16. Anyway, so how did it progress from there?
Well, like that was my first introduction to recovery, and like I said, I stayed clean for 18 months and 3 days, and basically, I've come in and out of the rooms, treatment and jail for the next, 16 years,
Yes, yes.
18
And now,
years actually.
and well, some of it was fun because it starts out fun, then it's not. It's something that works, and then it doesn't. You've experienced a lot of trauma during that 16 years.
Yeah, I think most of us have.
Okay.
Most of us
Why
have.
don't you tell us about some of yours?
Some of mine. An active addiction. I lost a lot of people close to me, like probably most of us have. The most traumatic event that I experienced was my wife dying in my arms. She passed away October 28th, 2006. And cause of death was cardiac arrest, but what caused the cardiac arrest was too big of a shot of cocaine and it ripped her heart.
And how did you process that?
At the time, I kept getting high. I didn't really know anything else. Like I told you, my introduction to recovery was at 16. I started using at 7. I was an everyday user by 9. The only reason I bring this up is because drugs for me were how I've always dealt with life. I didn't learn anything else. I didn't know anything else. That was my primary coping mechanism to life. So now, being tasked with facing the most traumatic event in my life, the only thing I knew how to do was use drugs.
Well, I mean, she had parents, obviously.
Correct.
She had brothers and sisters, I'm guessing, maybe.
Yes, both.
And you had to deal with them too at the same time.
Correct. Really back then when I was still using, I really didn't process it. I just escaped. That's what drugs are, escape. And I stayed high until it just didn't work anymore. And, getting into recovery, working with Gary actually, her father had contacted me and he really wanted to know more about the details. And
Yeah.
the reason he had contacted me is because I was working a 9-step and I was making amends. So I was talking to the family and I actually returned the urn to them. Because when she passed, I kept the urn. I felt like I needed it. And then when I reached out on my 9th-step, part of the process was they asked for the urn and I wanted to give them closure, so I gave them the urn back and it invited a whole lot of conversation about what happened. And I didn't answer. I went to my sponsor and, I got his opinion, what should I do? And he's like, no matter what, you don't describe to them the horrors of addiction that you've seen. Because all it's going to do is cause harm and, taint the memory that they have of their daughter.
Right.
So that's what I did. I didn't go into any kind of grave detail because what is it going to change at this point?
And absolutely. And for those of us that don't know what the steps are, the 9th suggestion, what Rob's referring to, is we make direct amends wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. And that's directly what you're referring to.
Right.
That
And
was
that's
great.
where we need help too. You need
Exactly.
somebody to say, this, not this.
Absolutely. We don't need to go into morbid detail about these things, and like Rob said, it doesn't do any good anyway. One of the things you said prior to describing this situation was that you started using at the age of 9, and I'm trying to think in my own experience. Joy, I don't know about you, but I didn't know what drugs were at 9 years old. I was playing with Tonka trucks.
He said 7, but I liked a baby aspirin. And there was also this stuff called Coke syrup that you would take it actually had Coca-Cola in it, and you would take it for like nausea. I liked that too. I used to get into that when I was a kid.
So at 7 years old, tell me about this.
Well, really, it was just, unfortunate circumstances. It just happened to be that the kids in my neighborhood were much older than me. And, I can tell you since as far back as I can remember, I think like a lot of us, I just wanted to fit in and be a part of. That's what I found in the rooms of recovery. And that's what I was looking for even back then. And I always felt a little different. I looked a little different. Both of my parents were immigrants. And, my mom's, well, she's passed now, but she was, from South Korea. My dad was from Germany. So I don't look like a white Saxon Protestant.
Right.
I look a little different. Like you said, you thought I was Samoan. So I look a little different. I felt a little different. And I was just this young kid with everyone in my neighborhood, like twice as old as me. And they never let me hang out with them. And one day they thought it would be funny to get the little kid high.
Oh,
Cute.
I see. Okay.
And you know what? I can't tell you that I fell in love. I'm going to be like Bill Clinton. I didn't inhale. And I didn't have that aha moment. But what I can remember vaguely was feeling a part of. And I sought that back out.
Yeah, I get that part for sure. So now you go from your wife passes away, which I can only imagine the trauma, the sadness, the loneliness, the all the different feelings that must have going through you at the time. You said you processed into it by using more,
Correct.
and so where did it go from there?
So she passed October 28th, 2006. My clean date is May 1st, 2008. So I continued to skid across the bottom for a couple more years. Um, you know, what was it like? It was survival, honestly, it was slavery. And I used against my will. I used to escape. And as soon as I would come down, I would use more, until the drugs just didn't work anymore. And I mean, I can remember when I got clean, like I hated every fiber of my being. I didn't like what I had become. I didn't like what I had to do to get the next one because just like all of us, I crossed so many lines in the sand that I said I would never cross that I didn't even recognize myself anymore.
Yeah, I can identify with that too as well. So in 2008, you've come to terms that you can't do this anymore.
Yep.
Do you remember like what was going through your mind, or what was there a bottom? Was there something drastic, or was it just I'm done?
Yeah, what was different this
Yeah,
time?
exactly.
Lee County Sheriff's Office.
Mine too. My first higher power.
Yes. Yeah, I was the type of addict you had to lock me in a cage.
Yes. And I have no recollection of what year it was that you and I met, but it must have been somewhere prior to 2008, because that was August 15th, 2008 was my last arrest.
I honestly can't tell you either because it all blurs for me. It all blends
Yep.
because I've been in Lee County Jail quite a lot.
Yes, right.
And I don't say that to brag.
So you get arrested or you get incarcerated in 2008, but what makes you say to yourself, I'm going to try something different?
Oh, so what happened was I got arrested at the Edison Mall,
For what?
violation of probation, possession of cocaine, and trafficking heroin.
Now, violation of probation, what was the original charge?
Driving on a suspended license.
Lots of those, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, so, it's not funny. I don't want to make it sound like what we do is fun and funny. It's just we can identify with what Raab says, with when Joy and I talk about our first drink, things of that nature. We have these things in common. So, all right, so you get taken away from the Edison Mall.
Correct. I get arrested, and throughout my active addiction, especially at the end after Amy died, like my parents made a deal with me. They said, we know we can't stop you from using, but at least call us once a week just to let us know you're alive.
Did you hold up your end of the bargain?
For the most part, yes. Except when I would go on a crack binge and I got to the point where I couldn't even talk.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
I get that too.
So
Mm.
I got arrested, and I've been arrested, like I said, many, many times on probation, and I knew I needed to bond out before first appearance, cash bond, because in the morning I wouldn't have a bond, I'd be a VOP hold.
Right, sure.
So I called my mom and dad, and they came and posted $50,000 bond, got me out. And they were taking me home, and they were like, you're going to go to prison. I said, yeah, I know. They're like, we can't buy you out of this one. We've bought you out of so many before. And I was already a convicted felon. Didn't matter how much money and private attorneys they threw at it anymore. It was, too late. And so I was, pretty convinced I was going to prison. And I mean, at this point in my using career, and I was what we call, in recovery, I was a hopeless dope fiend. I didn't think people like me got better. I never met anybody that used like me that got better. People like me died. Like at the end of the road for me, it was dark. It was lonely. Every week we were getting a call, hey, so-and-so died of an overdose. So-and-so died of an overdose. And I honestly had accepted the fact that I was going to die of an overdose. I wasn't destitute. I still had means. I didn't think you were going to find me dead in an alley, but I was pretty convinced you'd find me dead in the bathroom. And so what happened was my parents came and got me out of jail. And they took me home, and they were like, browbeating me about my life. And I could hear them, but I couldn't really hear them because, like I said, I had just gotten arrested. So I was in jail for like 20 hours. And I was starting to get dope sick. And then the reason I say starting to get dope sick is dope sick's not 20 hours. Dope sick's like day 3. But I was not feeling well. So my parents took me home. They came in my apartment. I went in the bathroom and fixed, and I came out crying. And why was I crying? Because I was just basically in so much emotional pain. Like I told you, it hurt to be me. And the drugs just didn't numb the pain anymore. And I told him I was sorry. I was sorry for all the pain that I caused him my entire life, because I caused him a lot. And I told him I'd never hurt him again. And basically, what I was telling him, and without telling him directly, was that I was going to take my life.
Mm.
And I gave them both a hug and a kiss, and they left, and I proceeded to take my life. And I did. I put enough, heroin in my arm that it's not humanly possible that I'm sitting here talking to you. And when I came to, I remember I had a ringing in my ears that didn't go away for like 3 days. My vision was messed up, and I really thought I messed myself up. But when I came to, I was like, man, I can't even die right.
Right.
And, my favorite reading in Narcotics Anonymous is called We Do Recover. And it goes something like this: when at the end of the road and we can no longer function as a human being, either with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma. What is there left to do? And I didn't say what is there left to do, but I said something like, what the fuck am I going to do now? Because like I told you, I started using, I picked up at 7. I was an everyday user by 9. Drugs, I didn't have a drug problem. Drugs were my solution to life. I didn't know anything else on how to cope. That's how I coped with life. If I smoked this, I felt this way. If I snorted this,
Yeah.
I felt this way. If I shot this, I felt this way. If I ate this, I felt this way. I never learned how to properly cope with life. And I didn't know what I was going to do because the drugs didn't work anymore. And in the back of my mind, something remembered Narcotics Anonymous. And something inside of me said, you know what, Robert, go and try, and just try one more time. Because inside, like I said, I came in and out for like 18 years, and I'm a professional quitter, but I just couldn't stay stopped. I could quit. I could quit for a week. I could quit for 3 months. I could quit for 6 months, whatever it was, but I couldn't stay stopped. But what I never did was work the steps. I never changed. Step work was the last thing I tried and the first thing that worked. And I knew
Funny
when,
how that works that way.
yeah, I knew in my
Because who
heart.
wants to do that? Who wants to be rigorously honest?
Go ahead. This is great.
I knew that I never really did what you told me to do. I did it my way. And my way only took me to the same place every time: pain.
And I never did what you told me to do that time in jail, when you said I forget the exact words or the exact time. I think you were sober at the time, and you just had to do some extra curricular activity.
Extra
or I
weekends.
don't really remember.
Yeah, if it was the time, because like I said, it all blends for
Gary
me.
was your sponsor because you knew Gary.
Then I was in there for a VOP, and I was serving that out.
That's what it was then. But anyway, so all right. So you say, I'm going to give this another try. Narcotics Anonymous has a saying, and it's evidently very, very true for me. It's not how I stop; it's how I stay stopped, because I have the same experience. So many of us do. That it's either jails or I'm in a treatment center, or and it says that Narcotics Anonymous has a saying: jails, institutions, and death. And we both talked about we are convicted felons. We've done treatment centers, and but we haven't died physically yet. But what happens to me is I die emotionally and spiritually when I'm out there, like over and over again. One day you're on the top of the world, and the next day I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. You come to a Narcotics Anonymous. Do you remember the first meeting you went into that day? That when you came in and you surrendered?
Well, what happened was I actually went to detox, Swaffus back then,
Yeah.
Salus Care now.
Yeah.
And then I went across the street. Back then, detox was
Ruth Cooper? Do you go to no?
no. And then I went to TLC.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I came out and went into a recovery house, and I've stayed clean ever since.
Yes. Now, what does being clean look like to you? When you say I'm clean, what does that look like to you?
Well, for me, being clean is, that's a term we use in Narcotics Anonymous. So when someone says they're clean, I'm assuming that they're in recovery, because there's definitely a difference between recovery and abstinence.
Correct.
I consider myself in recovery,
Me
not
too.
just abstinent. What does it mean to me? What does it look like for me? Well,
Yes. So if I say to you, I'm just coming in, I come my first Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and I said, I really like what you had to say, but what's this clean thing? What do I have to do to be clean? What is clean?
In the beginning, initially, I'd probably tell you to meet me at a meeting tomorrow.
Okay. What does it look like for Rob?
What does it look like for me today?
Yes.
Well, I was just talking with someone, and they were like, how many meetings are you going to this week? Because I told them I was here, and I'm like, actually 4. 4 for me this week. My average meeting attendance is probably 2 to 3 a week still. And I have a sponsor. I actively write and do introspective work. When I say introspective work, I just finished another round of steps, and we're getting ready, I think, to start on some traditions again. I've worked the steps numerous times, traditions numerous times, concepts.
What are traditions
Traditions.
when it comes to recovery?
So, in a nutshell, the the steps are for me, and the traditions are for us, for my relationships.
Okay. And what are the concepts?
The concepts are for service.
Very good. Very good. And give us an example of that.
Of
A concept, for instance.
concept. That we have one point of contact, a single point of contact in service. And I consider recovery like a classroom, and I actually used that concept today at a presentation I was doing at a meeting with discharge planners, and they're like, yeah, we talked to A and B and C in your organization. I said, please, I want to use a single point of contact, which would be me. Because when it goes to A to B to C, sometimes, honestly, the left hand doesn't always talk to the right hand,
I know.
and things get jumbled. So
It's like that game telephone.
yeah, when we have a single point of
Yes.
accountability, I find, and I mean, we can get a lot more accomplished. And I've, done so many things in my life professionally that I learned in service. Like, for example, Robert's Rules of Order. I never knew what Robert's Rules of Order were my rules of
Yeah,
order.
right.
But, serving, I learned about Robert's Rules of Order. And then serving on boards in the community and on the state level,
Yeah.
I knew about service better than them. How to make a motion, second a motion, so on and so forth. And I learned that all in service to the fellowship.
Yes.
I learned
yes.
that in my home group.
I still don't get it all right all the time. So it's interesting that you said it's like a classroom, and I totally get that. In fact, what you've done for me is just astronomical, and I appreciate that. I give this story that when I was in high school, I failed Algebra 1 my freshman year, my junior year, and my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. My senior year, it was suggested that I bring the textbook to class with me and ask this teacher for help. And once I brought the textbook to class with me and I asked the teacher for help, I passed. And I got a good grade, actually, too. And I look at it the same way, is if we have literature and it's available to us at no charge, and if we take advantage of this literature and we ask for help and we can be completely honest with another person, we're going to be okay. But my brain tells me otherwise sometimes.
Well, I think, honestly, in the beginning, and I've been working with a newcomer lately. I did a 12-step call with another member a couple weeks ago and took a former sponsee to detox, and he's been coming around. And it's so hard to explain to someone who's never experienced recovery as experienced through the 12 steps, what it's really like, to explain to them what that freedom is like, to have freedom from self, to be able to look another person in the eye and not put your head down. It's so hard to quantify that to someone who's never been.
You have to experience it.
And-
I think.
And I can still remember, when I first experienced it, I almost kind of had a resentment towards myself. I can't believe I stayed over there stuck for so long.
Yeah.
When all I had to do, this bridge to life, was just these 12 steps.
Right. I broke out laughing when you said I had a resentment against myself, because when we do one of these, when we do these steps, the number 4, for those of you that don't know, is we make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, and we do these inventories, and the first one is resentments that we do, and mine was I was the first name on that list.
Well, also going back to being new, I can remember asking Gary specifically, and I'm like, what the hell do I got to do this for? Why, like, how is writing powerless, how I'm powerless over my addiction is going to stop me from shooting dope? And I'm laughing because I still remember the
Can't
answer.
wait to hear this.
Babies ask why, men ask how.
Nice.
Well, very good. Sounds just like Gary. Gary, if you're listening, our hats off to you. Okay, so in the lieu of time, what else do we have to? What else have we not touched on that you'd like to touch on?
What I would tell anybody is, you're worth it. Do the work. Everybody's worth it. Everybody deserves recovery. Everybody deserves a second, third, or fourth, whatever, however many chances you've tried. Try again, please, 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 please. I think most of us, all of us in recovery will help you. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and we don't want anything in return. We just want you to get better. Why? Because we know the pain of failure.
Yeah.
Why? Because we lived it. And it doesn't have to be that way anymore. You don't have to be a slave any longer.
No longer a hopeless dope fiend, but a dopeless hope fiend.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give Raab a nice round of applause.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to go to Kimmies Korner and have some fun with Al Kinkle. We'll be right back
All right.
after these messages.
Woo.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud.
He had a little girl named Kimmy with a laugh that lit the room. Then fentanyl came like a storm cloud and took her way too soon. He kneeled down by her bedside with a prayer he could not shake. Then he said, I won't just break here, I will build for others' sake. So he opened up the doors where the hurting could walk in, with a couch, a meal, a blanket, and a chance to start again. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. There are folding chairs and coffee. There are boxes by the wall. There are nights he stays up answering every single call. A father with a broken heart who turned pain into a light. Now he hands out help in silence till somebody makes it right. From the ashes of his sorrow, he made shelter out of grief. And now every soul that reaches finds a place to breathe. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For a community. For a community. Where the hungry find are fighting night by day. If your hands are full of falling, if your name feels far from hope, step inside, the door is open. You are not alone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud. Hi, this is Al Kinkle. We would like to invite everyone to Party in the Park 2026 on September 12th during National Recovery Month. This year's event will be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. For sponsorship packages and volunteer info, visit kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. Let's make this year's event the most memorable yet.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Calling all angels.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Remember, we have a YouTube channel. We stream YouTube live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. We have lots of fun stuff going on. We were talking to people in recovery. We talk to businesses and community outreach, and we're mildly entertaining as well. Next week on Rated R for Recovery, Matt from Narcotics Anonymous will be here. Lauren Walker on Kimmies Korner from Hope Clubhouse, and a very special musical guest, which will be Luna playing her violin. So
We love Luna.
Everybody likes that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment we affectionately call Kimmies Korner. So welcome to Kimmies Korner.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Welcome to Kimmies Korner.
Hey.
You got to take
Oh,
prompts.
that's what you meant.
We got to take prompts. Okay, so and next month is September, and September is National Recovery Month. And by gosh, it wouldn't be National Recovery Month without Party in the Park. This will be the 5th annual Party in the Park. It'll be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning, with a keynote speaker, Florida State Senator Rosalind Osgood will be talking for us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally, we have the wonderful Al Kinkle, which I'm about to introduce to you, handle this part of the show, and he interviews people from the outreach community. But we thought, wouldn't it be special to interview Al?
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Kimmies Recovery Zone, Al Kinkle.
Good evening. Hey. Whoa, John, thank you
Al.
so much. I feel good.
Do you?
Yeah.
You look good, too.
Yeah, well, thank
Not
you.
that I'm physically attracted to you, but you look well. You look well.
Well-
Al, the 5th annual Party in the Park.
Right.
Now, take us back to the beginning.
Okay, so the Party in the Park really begun with a dream, so to speak. We were kind of walking around trying to figure out what could we do to really impact the neighborhood and make some noise and make people more aware of what's been going on. So Heidi and I basically got together.
Who's Heidi?
Heidi is our chief executive officer, and
Where is
she
she?
is a little round of applause there. She is unbelievable, as we all know, and does a lot of good stuff here for this zone and for this whole community, Lee County, and anywhere she goes, she tries to help somebody.
Yes, she does.
All the time. So we were talking, and we knew how what a serious situation we were in with the overdoses and things like that, and Narcan. was available at that time, and we said, we got to do something, and we got to help this cause out somehow, some way. And the first thing was to talk about distributing Narcan, and that's where we started to think about it and distribute it. And it's Recovery Month, so we said, well, let's do something. Let's do a party in the park. And that would be somewhere where we would gather together and make people aware of what's going on, and maybe stem some of the stigmatism. Because when people look around, they see that it's everybody. It's their neighbor, it's their guy down the street. So that's why we started it, and now it's 5 years, and we're excited to be at the position we're in right now.
Very good. Joy, you have a question down there for Al?
So 5 years later, what do you think Party in the Park represents to this community?
Well, I think this community, I think the community gets excited about it, especially the ones that are aware of what Party in the Park is. But other people, we introduce other people to what we do, but it's not what we do so much that counts. It's what everybody does.
So how many different organizations did you start with?
Well, in
Back
those
5 years ago.
Originally, we probably started with maybe 10.
Wow.
And we'll clock around 30 this year. So it's been a good journey. And like I said, people really come not only to learn, but to understand a little bit better what's going on so they can get involved.
And I'll go one step further than that. People come for those reasons, and it's fun as well. It is also fun. So if recovery wasn't fun, why would I do it?
Yeah.
So, and it's a lot of fun. What I do with you, what we do together is just a lot of fun. What I get to do for a living when I working for a dual diagnosis treatment center, that is fun.
And I didn't know what fun was.
I know.
I didn't know what would make me happy. They're like, recovery's so wonderful, and if you want what we have, I'm like, well, what do you got? and I started to see people smiling and people happy to be sober. And have
And
a
I've
little
learned
fun.
that fun is more than cracking a hooker. That's for sure. Okay, that's for darn sure right there.
You know,
Who
just
knew?
to go what you just what you just said is like when I was in my addiction, I thought I was having so much fun. I never really realized I wasn't having any fun.
I was the Walking
until
Dead.
I got
Well,
clean.
and part of the thing about saying it doesn't work anymore was, I used to go out and it was fun. And I felt, I would take a drink and I would be up, not down. I never understood that alcohol was a depressant because it didn't depress me. And I realized that's an adverse effect.
Right.
It's the opposite effect of what you're supposed to have. But I always had chemical fun.
Yeah.
And we talk about how it quit working. Well, it quits working because it's false. It's not real. And here's some real stuff, community and people getting together and finding a common purpose.
Yeah.
And starting just to add some Narcan to the community and some education into how many people die every year. You're going to talk about that in a minute. And what can we do about it? It's not just a sad thing when there's something that we can do.
No, I think what we do, all of us as a community, and again, not just talking about the zone, we're not alone in this effort that's going on in Lee County and across the nation. This is a national disease. It's not a Fort Myers disease. It's a national disease. We have 500 people have died since 2007 of an overdose. And fentanyl being introduced into the scene of the crime has killed more people than most wars have done.
It's more than 500 since 2007.
Absolutely. So it's been a lot of people. We'll look that up in a minute.
Well, I've got 40,000.
Okay, so
yeah.
Now speaking of the fun in the community, between the staff at Kimmies Recovery Zone, the different volunteers that come in weekly, daily, whatever, sponsors, people that making donations, how important has that team effort been in putting these things together for Kimmies Recovery Zone and for the community at large?
Everybody that you just mentioned there are the success of what we do. So we have a board of directors, we have Heidi, we have our team here, we have peers, we have all our collaborators that work with us. So when we say, how did this happen? Well, this happened because a lot of people heard about what's going on, understand what's going on, and understands that addiction can be knocking on your door tomorrow morning. It's
When you tell-
everybody's involved.
Yeah, absolutely. When you tell me you have piers, to me that's a place you dock your boat. So what is a pier for the people that don't know what a pier is?
A place you dock your boat.
Yeah.
So it's
Thank you very much.
don't
Good
have
night,
a boat.
everybody.
and we're the boat. So the peers, they're with. They had the experience of being in addiction, so to speak. That's what they are, and then they take a course and they get certified as a peer, and then that peer is the one that we count on so much to talk to people that are in that declining era of addiction, and hopefully when they talk to a peer, somebody that understands where they're at and doesn't look at them differently.
Somebody who's been there.
Been there, done that, and then we hopefully bring them in and get them the help that they need. It's a step program, basically. Sometimes it takes baby steps. I've been here where some of the peers work so hard with people. It doesn't happen in a day. Sometimes it does happen in a day, but sometimes it takes years.
Sure. And you have wonderful people. Brittany and Pedro
All of them.
are two exceptional young people.
No,
that
I like to say really what I'm so proud of here is the people that are here involved, including the volunteers and everybody in the community. I've never seen so many people working from their heart and soul than I have in this community. This is a community effort now. It's not just the zone.
Who's first point of contact for Kimmies Recovery Zone?
Lance. Yeah.
Good.
No, if they just have to call here and
Right.
then somebody will pick up the phone, and whether it's a peer or something like that, it's not
Right.
one person. It's assessed throughout the community
Sure.
of peers that we have.
Sure.
But anybody can walk by here any time of the day and walk in and get some help. They can charge a phone if they want to. They want to use a computer. We can help them with that. They want to get services provided that we know that they can get, that they didn't think they could get. We help them do that. And I mean, if they need food, they come in and get food for the day. But, the hardest thing that people have to understand that nobody wants to be where they're at that time. They want to get out of there, and that's what we're here to do, to show them how to get out of there. And now that's what the whole community is starting to do.
Yeah, and not everybody wants to get out, but if you want to get out, this is the
Yeah.
place to
We have
this is
a
the
way
place
out.
to start.
Yeah.
And we can't know who is going to get it.
Yeah.
So we just keep putting the word out. We just keep bringing the information, and we just keep putting it out there that there is a way out, and here's what we did. And then you never know who it's going to help.
No, and that's why you can't give up on anybody. I mean, just keep trying. There's no sense in that, because that's kind of silly. But people don't really know that they want to get out until they get out. And then once you see that, man, there's no turning back. You can't.
Our first guest said it doesn't matter how many times. Raab was talking to how many times you try. Just keep coming back. And that's one of the sayings in the rooms of recovery, to keep coming back.
That's right.
And we have people where I work that have been there more than once and that come in with their head down. And I say, don't put your head down.
No.
I said, lift your head up. You're a survivor. You can do this.
Be proud of yourself.
Yes, just asking for help coming in is takes a lot of courage.
And you can't even see your surroundings if you don't look
I
up.
know.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I said,
Great.
if you want what we have, well, what do you got? Well, I can't see it unless I lift my head up and look around.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of times too, we have fear. So fear of letting go of what we know we have. And so you're striving to the next day coming, and you're going to get something that you think's making you happy. And then as soon as you break that string, then you're going to be on your way.
Right.
So we talk a lot about Kimmy and Kimmie's Recovery Zone. What happened when you were trying to get help for Kimmy? What were you told?
Oh, well, yeah. When I was trying to get help here, there was a man that I'm ever grateful for, because he tried to help me, really did try to help me. Gordy Lewis was his name. And Gordy's still around, but I'm not sure where. I hope he's listening today. Give me a call, Gordy. But he was he was a great asset to me, because I could cry to him all the time when things were bothering me. He's always lent a helping hand, but there was not enough action here for what Kimmy was going through. It was deeper and darker at that point. So he shuffled me over to Delray, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. We went to all those places over there, the 30-day programs, and they were really, at that point in time, were a little suspect, so to speak, without saying any more. And, they had a thing called the Delray Shuffle. Somebody could Google that and find out what that is. And, so we experienced several of those programs that just did not work, for us. So then we started to look around a little bit more, and we did finally find somebody in Palm Beach that took care of Kimmy. But here, there was not enough services, just wasn't here.
I like the fact that you say us, because it is not just a singular disease. It is a family disease. It affects everybody and every person involved. And I say this all the time, that the biggest devastation of drugs and alcohol is that I hurt the people I love and that love me.
Yeah.
Without even maybe sometimes realizing it. How did Kimmy's situation affect her brothers and her mother?
Affected all of us. Each and every family member is affected when somebody's sick.
Yes.
If they have a cold, you're affected. So could you imagine if they have addiction, how you're affected? Because you start losing trust and different things like that. Some people even think they think they lose love, but you never lose love, and you never give up. So that's the answer. But it does affect the children. My wife, it was devastating. Devastating. And then when Kimmy passed, that was really, really knocked us all down. But again, that happens to all of us, and we have to make a decision. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to go negative, which was real easy? I was close.
Yeah, shut down.
Yeah, shut
That's
down.
it.
I was ready. But then, thank God that I found a way to deal with my pain. And the way to deal with my pain was helping other people get out of their pain.
What turned you around from that dark space to realizing that maybe I can offer some hope to other people?
Exactly that. Thinking about my daughter when she was trying to get help and she couldn't get help. That stuck in my brain. So I said, let's try to do something where we can give everybody help. And we touch a lot of people here, not we don't.
Yeah, just amazing. So now reaching the 5th annual Party in the Park means what to you personally?
That I'll get to hear you and see Mark.
That's not much.
What are you going to talk about?
I'll see Eileen. I'll see Sue. I'll see Lance. What it means to me is just another opportunity for us to touch the people in the neighborhood. And I always call it a neighborhood.
Sure.
Neighborhood.
Yeah.
I was born in the neighborhood. But it touch people in the neighborhood to give them some information that's helpful for them and make them feel better. Because if in fact you're home and you don't have anywhere to turn, it's a very dark place to be. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be there because, like you say, that circle, the circle affected by the disease will affect the ocean, for Christ's sake, so it doesn't just stop there. So I'm glad to be able to go out there and bring in people to speak, to talk, and then bring in all the partners that have great services to offer people. So now they got 20, 30 people they can talk to about their situation.
Yeah, and it's not just specifically addiction services. There are services for people who want to get out from where they are, and this is a great place to find help. And this is a hub for information.
Yeah.
And like you said, finding services I didn't know I could get,
Yeah.
that are out there specifically in part because of the work that you have done to create a neighborhood and to create a community. When we lift up our community, like Bob Dylan said, how do you make change? You start at your front door and work your way out.
Yes.
And it seems like a daunting task, and someone can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
Right. And one thing we want to talk about that day that I think is very important is the fact that we have the Circle of Love. When we first started, that's what we called the Circle of Love, and not Party in the Park. In the beginning, it was always built on love. So the more love you get, the more return you're going to get from that person or whoever it affects. So we all get in a circle. We have our picture of our children, and we were able to say their name. And I don't know, I'm sure lots of people know it. You don't know how important that is to mention their name and hear their name again. It's very important.
Years ago, Joy and I did I don't know what we called it, when we had people come in and hold up pictures in front of the camera. Remember that when we
Yeah.
did that, and that was a very powerful one. And that was, and then and you, what you do and what you've done with the people that work and volunteer for you is astronomical. So let's give Al a big round of applause. You've been. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here or if you're at home and you want to donate to Kimmies Recovery Zone, kimmiesrecoveryzone.org, and click on donate, and you'll be able to add some, send a message, donate some money, and by all means, put it on your calendar, September 12th at Lake Kennedy Center Park in Cape Coral, starting at 11 o'clock. That will be Party in the Park. Al, do you have anything more before we go to break?
No, I think just the fact that don't give up on your loved ones. Keep going at them because there is light at the end of that tunnel, and it will come. So
And it doesn't mean that you have to like roll over and let people like walk all over your life when you can't do that anymore. But there are certainly ways to help, and people who have been there know what to do.
Yeah.
And can help you do that.
But as family and parents, if you want to get back to that just for a second, as family and parents, I remember when Kimmy first relapsed, I went out of my mind. Holy God, Jesus! And she said, "Dad, relapse is part of." And I said, "No, it's not.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but
Yeah.
99.9% it is part of my story. So
Okay.
that's, I don't know.
And I didn't
Now,
make it the first
I would
time.
be remiss if I didn't mention another thing that Kimmie's Recovery Zone does. Every Friday at 2415 Grand Avenue, Grace Church, the Central Campus, this organization feeds the community and the neighborhood there. But next Friday, a week from this Friday, the 21st, will be an overdose awareness luncheon. So please come down. So we're going to be doing we'll be doing a live broadcast from there, Joy and I and Al, and just be part of that. Once again, that's the 21st of August, 2415 Grand Avenue. That's Grace Church, the Central Campus.
Is Eileen and Lance and Mark going to be there, or they'll all be there? Is everybody?
We can't
Heidi's
stop 'em.
gonna be
Mark
there?
has to be there, or we will
This
be
gang
knowing
gonna
live.
be here.
Mark Santora is our executive producer. Without Mark Santora, this does not work. Ladies and we are going to take a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, Alan and Kelly, Nashville recording artists. Well, we got half of them here.
Yes.
Alan Sherville is going to be entertaining us. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery.
Where's the other half? Where's the other half?
RatedRForRecovery.com.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, attorney at law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud.
He had a little girl named Kimmy with a laugh that lit the room. Then fentanyl came like a storm cloud and took her way too soon. He kneeled down by her bedside with a prayer he could not shake. Then he said, I won't just break here, I will build for others' sake. So he opened up the doors where the hurting could walk in, with a couch, a meal, a blanket, and a chance to start again. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. he stays up answering every single call. A father with a broken heart who turned pain into a light. Now he hands out help in silence till somebody makes it right. From the ashes of his sorrow, he made shelter out of grief. And now every soul that reaches finds a place to breathe. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For a community. For a community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmies Recovery Zone. Kimmies Recovery Zone. For Kimmy, he keeps going. For the ones who need a way. For the moms and dads and brothers who are fighting night by day. If your hands are full of falling, if your name feels far from hope, step inside, the door is open. You are not alone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. For our community. For our community. Where the hungry find a table and the lost can find a home. Kimmy's Recovery Zone. Kimmy's Recovery Zone.
Kimmy, I hope I'm making you proud. Hi, this is Al Kinkle. We would like to invite everyone to Party in the Park 2026 on September 12th during National Recovery Month. This year's event will be held at Lake Kennedy Center in Cape Coral, Florida. For sponsorship packages and volunteer info, visit kimmiesrecoveryzone.org. Let's make this year's event the most memorable yet.
When children have to play inside so they don't disappear. And I
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery.
Hi, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Rated R for Recovery, as seen on YouTube. That's right, we have our own YouTube channel, so go to YouTube, punch in Rated R for Recovery. Now, you heard Al in that last segment talk about the Party in the Park and donations. Once again, it's kimmiesrecoveryzone.org and click on Donate. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, to prove that we are mildly entertaining, we have a wonderful singer-songwriter, half of the team of Alan and Kelly.
Yes.
Nashville recording artists.
Yes.
Alan, would you do 2 songs for us tonight?
I'd love to.
Okay, so I'm going to let you talk a little bit between songs to let the audience know how they can get your music. All right? So right now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Nashville recording artist Alan and Kelly. Just Alan.
Just Alan. Thank you. My beautiful wife is supporting others and being a light in other people's lives. Yeah, here's one I wrote with 2 Nashville songwriters, Mark Allen Barnett and Norm Bradley. It's called Trying My Best to Live. Thanks for the messages tonight. I've had a lot of demons to battle down. Jumped out of planes, never left the ground. Made enough mistakes to fill a lifetime, but I'm still here. I've heard old men talk about their regrets, taking the easy road with safer bets. prisoner of my deep, dark fears. I'm just trying my best to live, so I don't look back and say, what if? Can't win if I don't try. Never want to ask why. Didn't give everything I had to give. I'm just trying my best, trying my best to live. Don't have to be near death to make a bucket list. Let imperfect love spoil a new first kiss, or wait till someone asks me to pitch in to lend a helping hand. You gotta take a lot of risks to ride the perfect wave. Lose a lot of golf balls, that's how the game is played. The more I put into this life, I'll get it back times 10. Just trying my best to live, so I don't look back and say, what if? Can't win if I don't try. Never want to ask why. Didn't give everything I had to give. I'm just trying my best, trying my best to live with the fact I ain't Superman. You bet I'm gonna live like I am. Just trying my best to live, so I don't look back and say, what if? Can't win if I don't try. Never want to ask why. Didn't give everything I had to give. I'm just trying my best, trying my best to live. Day at a time. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you. Yes, thanks for having me. I love this place. I feel Jesus when I'm here. I feel the love of everybody here. What you all do just touches me tremendously. Kelly and I, we write worship music, Christian music. We just recorded an album in Nashville, Tennessee. You can find our music on alanandkelly.com. We are starting a new recovery meeting in October at our church, New Hope in Cape Coral. So Kelly and I will be starting a new recovery meeting, Christian-based, faith-based. We are looking forward to that. And we talk about, doing the park event here for Kimmies. Kelly and I are doing one in November called Praise in the Park, and we hope that you will all be a part of it as well. We play music, we reach out, we feed people. We just want to tell people about the good news that Jesus and this life has given us. Here's one that's going to be in our new album. Kelly and I, we do this at our church, New Hope. And here's a final one. Thank you for having us tonight. This one's called It Is Finished, because He has done the work for us. The sun gave way to darkness. Evil thought it won. The veil torn, earth was shaken, but you knew what was to come. Every sin from the past, present, and the future was wiped away for all who believe. You broke the chains on Calvary. Now by your blood we are redeemed. It is finished. It is finished. Victory over sin. You paid off our debt once and for all. And in your Death no longer holds us. The empty tomb proved your power. Every sin from the past, present, and the future was wiped away for all who believe. You completed every work. Now by your grace we are redeemed. It is finished. It is finished. Victory over sin. You paid off our debt once and for all. And in your dying breath, you declared it is finished. Lord, you were the final and perfect sacrifice. Oh, so perfect. Oh, how we praise you. You made us new and gave us life. It is finished. It is finished. Thank you, Jesus. It is finished. It is finished. It is finished. Victory over sin. You paid off our debt once and for all. And in your dying breath, you declared it is finished. This is amazing grace. Thank you. Thank you for letting me play tonight without my better half.
I almost fell over. This is amazing, great. This is unfailing love, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much, Alan. You're just so good at what you do, and I just wish and pray that your ministry grows and grows and grows. And hopefully you'll be seeing Alan around Lee County with his lovely wife, Kelly, because they go by Alan and Kelly.
We do.
Find them on the Facebook.
The Facebook, the YouTube, the TikTok, the
Everything.
AlanKelly.com.
Everything's available. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us next week for another edition of Rated R for Recovery. In the meantime, stay sober, my friends. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Great.
me. Appreciate it.
I love you. I wish we could do